And what we're finding is that they will take that information and they will be able to brute force attack very easily into internal company applications or maybe third-party apps. Let me give you an example. A lot of companies use Benefocus for their HR software. Benefocus is a cloud software. What these hackers will get access to if they steal from an HR representative at the company is they'll get access to that HR user's credentials. They'll just go to benefocus.com/login, enter their credentials into that portal, and they'll get direct access into all sorts of information on employees. I don't know, maybe social security numbers. It could be medical benefits information, internal notes on employees, potentially salaries. Everything that would be categorized in that HR service, or I should say that software as a service, would be accessible then to the hacker, which leaves the company exposed tremendously and even at risk for lawsuits by their own users or their own employees if that ever came to light. So this is becoming a huge issue that companies have to face. And we're finding that a lot more legacy endpoint security vendors or AV vendors out there aren't able to stop these pony exploits in their zero-day form. They'll evade, they'll get by, and they'll attack, and they'll exfiltrate. 15 minutes later, it auto-deletes. And both the antivirus as well as the company had no idea what happened to them until we show them, what we found on the dark web. So as you can see right here, it's a Russian, it was built by Russian malware authors, and it does data exfiltration on credentials of over 90 different applications on a Windows device. And it bypasses current end user endpoint security as a zero-day exploit. It gets by a lot of them. I'm not saying it gets by 100%, but it gets by a lot of them. And what it will do is, I'm just going to show you an example right here of what it does. So this type of malware will go into C drive, it will go into users, it will go into that particular user, as you can see on my screen right here. I'm going to highlight this. It will go into app data, which is a hidden folder. It will go into local, Google, Chrome, user data, default, and it will get to an actual file called login data. Now, Google Chrome's password manager stores everything in the cloud. So there's a variation of all these passwords that are stored in the cloud, but then it pushes down localized copies onto the desktop itself. I'm going to show you what that would look like. So before I became privy to all this, I used to store my passwords inside of Google Chrome. Most users do. And in fact, Chrome users out there, 99% of them are using the password manager because it's very convenient. Every time they enter a new password, whether it's an internal company application or a personal application, web application, there's a pop-up that comes up. Would you like us to save this password? Or would you like Google to remember this password for you? Of course. I don't want to have to remember 20 different passwords, and it's convenient when you auto-populate it, my portal, so I can just press login. So as you can see right here, this is the actual encrypted format of what it would look like inside of Comodo. Inside of your login data that Google is storing. So it's encrypted. And you might say, Trip, big deal. It's an encrypted form. What the pony does is it exfiltrates that encrypted data. So basically it just copies all of this right here and it pushes it to some command and control server, God knows where. Eastern Europe, Russia, China, and it dumps the encrypted format onto that the cPanel on that server. And what happens on the other side is it gets decrypted. This is what a Pony Builder looks like. And this is Pony Builder 1.9. See how sophisticated this is? All a hacker, even an amateur hacker, all they would have to do is just select which applications they want their Pony bot to steal, and it will go look for those file paths on the machine. For example, if I go down to Google Chrome right here, look at this is now selected, Google Chrome. When that actual pony hits the machine, could be through a phishing attack, it could be through a link that's clicked, on the web, and that code begins to execute on the machine, it will go into this file path as Google was just selected in this example. So it's going to go into C drive users, app data, Google Chrome, user data login, default, right?